Okay, cool. Good morning, students. Sorry about the technical issues that we're having today. I'm recording this session to allow you to kind of rewatch what we need to do. So this week's session is about building blocks. So it's sequential. So for example, as you go through this week's class, click on 5.1, and then you can use the SketchUp file, which is 5.2, and then you submit in 5.3, which is going to be the same thing as what we've done every single week. But let's go dive into the work now. We can click on the slide. And in the slide, it has both written instruction and also video instruction for you to go through. So let's look at the assignment again for those who are here. The assignment this week is about building blocks. We are taking these blocks and replicating this structure, meaning we are going to use the move tool, and we're going to build this structure by grabbing it and moving it onto the right spot. There are three different structures. The first two is just the move tool, and then the last one is about rotating a certain object and then moving it into the right location. So let's dive into that and take a look at that now. In this assignment, our goal is to use these blocks to create these structure. So for example, this set of blocks will create this structure, this set of blocks will create this structure, and these type of block will create this structure. So what we're going to do first is to get ourselves positioned in a way we can see this block more easily. The way to do that, again, is to move your mouse to the right-hand side and zoom out so we can see more of the left-hand side. Then we can point at the object we want to see more of and push forward, and you're going to be able to see that object. First thing you always want to do in this assignment is to use the orbit tool and actually orbit around and look at this structure. So if we see this structure here, we can see what element of these blocks are stacked on each other. So for example, we have these color blocks that's associated with the color blocks that are laid out on the right-hand side here. So in this case, we see that this purple one is on the bottom. Therefore, we want to start stacking them up and proceed forward with stacking. So what we're going to do first is take a look at this purple block and see where this gray block is sitting. So I'm going to use the O key on my keyboard to orbit, or the key orbit is going to be at the bottom right-hand corner here. So I can see that this gray block is sitting directly on the top right-hand corner of this purple block. Therefore, what I want to do is I will select the gray box and use the move tool. You've learned the move tool in the last session. So if you have not learned or have not done the last session, you might want to go back to the last session and learn how to use the move tool and rotate. So we're going to move on here. I know that the bottom of the gray block is sitting on top of the purple block on the top right-hand corner. Therefore, I'm going to go ahead and grab it from the bottom right-hand corner and move it straight to the top corner like that. Now that I have that, I'm going to go back onto this block, use the orbit tool, O for orbit, and see where the next block is sitting. So in this case, the pink block now is sitting on top of the gray block, and it's sitting on the top portion here and not on the other side. Notice how there is no connected point on this side, but there is a connected point right here where the pink and gray block is sitting. So with that, I know to grab from the bottom right-hand corner of the pink, connecting it to the top right-hand corner of the upper section of the gray. So I'm going to use the selection tool. Let's zoom into that real quick. I'm going to select the pink of this and use the move tool, M for move. I know it's going to be the bottom right-hand corner. I can now move it to the upper right top corner of the gray. Let's go back to the block again and see what's next. I'm going to orbit this around just to see where the connected points are at. Notice now I have this greenish teal color on top, and the connected point is the upper left corner right here of the pink block. Therefore, I can grab this teal light color from the bottom left-hand corner and connect it to the upper left-hand corner of the pink. So same concept, use the selection tool, grab the teal color, I can use the M for move, or I can select the move tool, grab it from the bottom left-hand corner to move it to that point. Now that I have that, let's go ahead and orbit this again. The goal is just to understand where the connected points are at. The next one is going to be the pink on the yellow. Therefore, it's going to be this side now. And we're looking at this corner here. So the upper left-hand corner of the pink and the bottom left-hand corner of the yellow. So same concept. I'm gonna take the selection tool, select the yellow, use the move tool, grab the bottom left-hand corner, move it to that point right there. Ooh. If you messed up like that, just press undo, upper here, and grab it again. And try that again until it snap and connect. I can now click, and I'm good to go. Going back to the block, I'm gonna use the orbit tool over orbit. Now I know that this red block is connected from this point or this point. Therefore, I can grab the red from the bottom left or bottom right. I'm gonna use the selection tool. I'm gonna use the bottom right-hand corner this time, use the M for move. Grab the bottom right-hand corner, zoom out and move it over to the bottom right-hand corner, move it to the top right corner of the yellow. Now that I have all the top portion done, I'm gonna explore to see what's happening with this green and blue-like color on the bottom here. So I can see that the green now is connected to the bottom of the pink on the right-hand side. So I'm gonna use that corner to help guide me. I'm gonna use the selection tool, zoom into it so I can see better. Select the M for move, grab the top right-hand corner this time, and move it to the bottom of the pink. And lastly, you have this blue color. And again, it's connected from this corner and this corner, I mean the right or left of the blue on top and green on the bottom. So therefore, I'm gonna grab this blue, use the move tool, grab it from the left or right, it doesn't matter. I'm gonna grab from this corner and simply drag it over and have that one ready. So just like that, my first block is done and is exactly the same. And your goal is to make sure that these blocks are exactly the same. If you want to move them closer, so if I want to grab this whole thing and move them closer to see better, I can easily actually use the selection tool, click hole, and create a box like that where everything is within the box. Now everything is selected. Notice how everything is blue. I can use the move tool now and grab from a bottom point. I can move it closer if I want to, move it closer. And I can see now that these two blocks, these two structures are going to be the same. These will be our buildings that we're going to be building off of for the future project. All right, so I'm gonna stop sharing my screen for a second, and I want to see if you guys have any question. So I'm gonna open this up for question. Any questions? Feel free to type in the chat, yes, no, or have a question. Type in the chat for me real quick. Any question about that portion? Thank you, Mohammed, for responding. What about everyone else? Any question about that portion of the assignment? Thank you, Victor. How about everyone else? This is due, I have a private message to me. When is this due? This is due at the end, this is due in a week. So right before class next week. Appreciate those who are responding. Thank you so much for participating. It means a lot to me. I'm gonna share my screen again, and we're gonna move on to the next block. So when we dive into this now, the next video is about exploring the move tool and the rotate tool on the blocks number 3. So the blocks number 3 is really focusing on the last portion of it, okay? So let's take a look at the move tool with the rotate using the blocks. Now that we've learned how to move our blocks to stack to create the structure, I'm gonna go ahead and move on to the last structure real quick. So I'm gonna zoom into this section here. And this assignment here there are several different components that you need to rotate as well. So for example, let's go ahead and take a closer look at the structure. So we use the O for orbit, and let's take a look at this. I'm noticing already that a lot of these blocks are actually facing a different direction. So for example, this baby teal light color is facing a different direction. This yellow is facing a different direction. And let's see what else faces in a different direction. So I'm just had to orbit this around to see what is what. Yeah, I think those are possibly the only two blocks that are facing a different direction. So let's go and start learning how to stack them. So let's go way to the bottom and see what's on the bottom. And the first thing we see is going to be this L-shaped brown-like color on the bottom. And the long direction is this way, horizontally, and then the shorter side this way. So let's take a look at what we have down here. So here's our structure. The brown object is here. So you can see the brown object is facing the right direction. Therefore, I'm gonna use that as our foundation to start stacking. So I'm gonna zoom in to see what's above it or below it. There's nothing below it. There is a green one above it. The green one is connected at this point right here, right? So it's connected at the upper right-hand corner on this side. So I'm gonna go ahead and use that as our foundation. Therefore, I'm gonna grab it from the bottom right-hand corner of the green. I'm gonna zoom into that, select using the selection tool, M for move, or the move tool is here, and grab it from the bottom right-hand corner and drag it up to that point. So now I have that first point ready to go. The one above it now, let me press O for orbit. The one above it is a gray, and it's going to be the light gray, and that's going to be running horizontal this way, meaning the long way is this way, and the short way is the other way. And the block is already facing that way, so I'm okay with having to not have to rotate the object. And in this case, this one is connected at the top right-hand corner of the green, and then therefore I'm gonna graph in the bottom right-hand corner of the gray. Select the object, M for move, select the object using the selection tool, spacebar, and then M for move, graph in the bottom right-hand corner, and move it. Oh, look at this, I'm noticing something. I noticed that the green is not connected correctly. Therefore, I'm gonna try that again. Select the green first, M for move, graph in the bottom right-hand corner, and snap it to that corner. So that's very important. Just make sure you go to the corner. And if you mess up by any means, you can simply press undo, or you can try to just simply recorrect that like what I just did just a second ago. I'm gonna select now this gray object, use the move tool. I know it's from the bottom right-hand corner, moving up to the top right-hand corner of the green. Now, the next one is going to be this yellow color, this mustard yellow color. And what I'm noticing already, if I move from the top, is that mustard color is facing the wrong way. You need to rotate it 90 degrees this way, 90 degrees this way. So I see the long way is this way, but the long way in this one is this way. Therefore, I have to actually rotate this first and then move the object. So I know the object is at the bottom left-hand corner of the yellow and top right left-hand corner of the gray. So I need to move the object first. So I'm gonna zoom into the object, get myself in a position where I see it better. I need to rotate this 90 degrees. Therefore, all I need to do is select the object, use the move tool. Remember how to rotate. To rotate, we had to hover to the top and the little red dot will come up. Don't do the side because that's not the direction we want. We want to go to the top. Hover over until you see the little red dot. Click once, let go. Remember on the bottom right-hand corner right here, the number we want to remember is 0, 90, 180, just like our last assignment. So I'm gonna rotate this over until it hits 0, 90, or 180. There you go, that's 90. And that's now facing the right direction. Let's double check. There you go. The two yellow objects are facing the right direction. Like I mentioned a second ago, press escape on the keyboard if you want to escape from that selection tool. Like I mentioned before, this yellow is sitting on top of the gray on the top left-hand corner. Therefore, I'm gonna go from this top left-hand corner, bottom left-hand corner of the yellow, and grab it and move it to that point there. Now I have myself that object sitting correctly. And then, oh, see, if you messed up like that, just press undo on the top here, and it should go snap back. The next object is this teal color. And notice how the teal color is also facing the wrong way. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna go ahead and orbit this so I can see better. And I need to also orbit 90 degrees. So all I need to do is select the object, zoom in a little bit so I can see better. Use the move tool, hover over to the top until you see the red dot. Click on the red dot once, let go of the hand, and rotate it this way until you see 0, 90, or 180. So in this case, it's gonna be 0, perfect. It's facing the right direction. I will click once now, and now it's facing the right way. Now what we're gonna do is to determine, for orbit, determine where it sits. So it's sitting on top left-hand corner of the yellow, meaning I'm grabbing the bottom left-hand corner of the teal. So select the object, use move, go on the bottom left-hand corner and move it to the top left-hand corner of the yellow. All right, so now I have the object, at least on this side done. I'm gonna go ahead and orbit to the other side and see what's going on with the red and also the purple light color. There you go. So this object is facing the right direction and simply is connecting at this point here. So I connected from that point, meaning if I'm facing this direction, it's the upper right-hand corner of the green, meaning it's the bottom right-hand corner of this purple light color, or burgundy color. I'm gonna select the object, use the move tool, select the bottom right-hand corner to move it to the bottom, top right-hand corner of the green. Now I have that object, the next one is going to be the red, and the red is facing the right way already. So all I need to do is figure out where I'm grabbing it from, and it's grabbing from the top right-hand corner in this point. Therefore, I'm moving from the bottom of the red to the top of the burgundy color. So I'm gonna select this now using the selection tool. Use the move tool now. Grab from the bottom right-hand corner, move it up to that point. Now I have that object sitting correctly. And then the last color is going to be that other mustard yellow, this one, and it's already facing the right direction, so I don't need to rotate that. And it's sitting at the bottom left-hand corner of the green, meaning I got to grab from the top right left-hand corner of the yellow. So select the object, use the move tool, and grab from this corner and move it over. And just like that, I have myself the object that represents that. Again, if you want to move that closer, simply use the selection tool. Click, hold until you select the entire box of the object. Press M for move, grab it from the bottom right-hand corner somewhere and move it closer, and just so you can see better. See if it actually looks the same. And it looks exactly the same, so that's what I want. It looks great. Okay, and so this last object is gonna be the same. See if there's any object you need to rotate. And I don't believe you do, but though that's how you're gonna be able to complete the entire project. Finish this up by stacking the same way we did on the last two. All right, students, I'm gonna stop sharing my screen for a second. And are there any questions regarding to the rotate and then move tool for the stacking of the blocks? Thank you, Victor. Any question? What about everyone else? Any questions about the move tool or the rotate tool and stacking the blocks? Thank you, Mohammed. Thank you, Alexa. Appreciate you guys responding. Means a lot. Feel free to continue typing in the chat. I'm watching that always. So I'm gonna share my screen again. My recommendations, once again, for before the technical problem came about, is that when we are diving into this session, remember my recommendation is to have a second screen, maybe a phone, maybe another iPad, maybe some kind of portable device, maybe another laptop, but have your model set up and then have your instruction on the left-hand side. If you're one of the person who's like, I like to follow step-by-step instruction, here we go. On page, I think 5, you have the step-by-step instruction. So here's your block. You're gonna rotate it, orbit it in a certain direction, looking at the existing structure, and then see what goes where. And then I tell you also step-by-step on which object to grab and where to grab it from as well. So if you are one of the visual person who like to go through step by step like this, you can actually see which object I'm grabbing and then where am I stacking it from. So it progressively go through the whole process, orbit it, stack the next one, orbit to see the next one, and then stack the next one, and so on and so forth. So the instruction, the written instruction and visual instruction is also in the slide as well. So the slide is in 5.1. 5.1 is the slide for video and instruction. 5.2 will be your model, okay? Whenever you see this, it tells you what to do. Review this, use this, and then answer this. So here's what you need to use. You click on the SketchUp file. This is not an assignment you need to complete. I mean, you need to complete it in here, use the model, but submission is only the one with the exclamation mark. You use this assignment here, click on that icon, and on the top middle corner, you should see something that say open with SketchUp for school. You click on that. This is how you log in again, and then sign in with Google using your OUSD email we pay for your license already. So use your OUSD as the last few weeks is the same. Once you log in, you should see a structure that look like this, all right? So here's your structure, and that allows you, let me just lock this real quick so that way it's until you don't have to deal with the moving part. But here's your structure, and your goal is to start stacking them the same way I mentioned before. The first two structure is just the move tool. The last structure is some of them have to rotate, and I believe it's going to be the mustard yellow, the big mustard yellow, and the teal, baby teal color will be the one that rotate. The rest of them is just a move tool. And then lastly, once you're done, remember how to export this out. Once you finish, get it into the view where you can see everything kind of like this. But after it's done, you go to the three little lines, go to export, export as a PNG file, and click on export as PNG. Once you export as PNG, it will automatically save it to either your download folder, or it actually download folder or save as an image file. Once you have that, go to your assignment, click on the assignment itself. And all you need to do, so my assignment is going to be SketchUp lesson building blocks. So what I need to do here is insert the PNG file onto this section. So the instruction is use the blocks provided and replicate the structure and assignment 5.2 SketchUp file. After completing all three structure, export the PNG file on your computer and insert it in below. So just like what I just mentioned before, we just exported, now we got to insert it here. So you go to insert, go to image, upload from computer. So it's the same thing as our last few assignments. And then go to download. If you should see a download folder, or you see image file. So one of those two. And I know my file name is called SketchUp lesson. So I'm gonna go all the way down to SketchUp lesson. And then here it is, building blocks. I can upload that, and then there it is. So once you have that done, that's how you will submit it and press turn in, and you should be good to go. Okay, so that would be the three assignment. I apologize, I rushed through this because we had technical problem the first portion of our class. I'm gonna stop sharing my screen and ask if there are any question you may have. I have a student asking, how do we get there? Which portion? Sorry about that. I did not, I don't know what you were referring to. How do we get there? Are you referring to the SketchUp file, or are you referring to the submission? Good question, by the way. So let me show you both. How do you get to the SketchUp file, and then how do you get to the submission? Remember, in our Google Classroom, we have the SketchUp file, which is here. If you click on this assignment, click on Open with School, and that will give you the SketchUp file. The one with the exclamation mark, as always, is the submission. So you click on that, and here's the assignment itself. Again, it's sequential, so step 1, step 2, step 3. Okay, stop sharing my screen for a second. Does that answer your question? Any other question? Any question for me about this week's assignment? It is due next Wednesday at 9 a.m. before our class. Okay, so it's due in a week. If you want to get 100%, it's due at the end of the week, within 1 week to get 100%. After that, again, I subtracting some points off of that. It's just being fair for everyone who are engaging when the deadline is there. For students, once again, who are who did not finish the first half for whatever reason, the first 3 assignments. If you did not finish that, you can still finish it to get the better semester grade. Semester grade is due in about 5 weeks. So next week is 4 weeks. And so we basically don't have that much time. So what I recommend is don't wait. If you go onto your Jupyter grade, see what you're missing, complete it so you can get the best semester grade possible. And I can say this, you can still earn, if you did not finish anything, you can still earn a high B or even an A- if you dedicate your time to it. Remember, I'm here to help you all. I'm here to support. Please email me, schedule one-on-one, attend Power Hour, shoot me a message, hey, Ms. Huang, can we do a one-on-one? If you don't know how to book a one-on-one, anything you need support with, please make sure you contact me and reach out to me. With that, are there any questions about any of the assignments or this week's assignment? Want me to review any of the things that we just went over today? Thank you, those who are responding. All right. So with that, I'm gonna stick around for the next 10 minutes, 15 minutes, however long you guys need, but I'm gonna stick around to answer any question. If you know what you need to do already, get it done right now. Spend the next half an hour, 20 minutes, an hour. Look at that. I had a student already turn it in. He finished it already. And congratulations. Thank you so much for doing that. So it's not a hard assignment. It's just a matter again, one more recommendation. If you did not do the move, rotate assignment, finish that one first, because that helps you complete this assignment. With that, have a wonderful day if I don't see you right now, or if you don't stick around. Have a wonderful day. I'm gonna stop my recording.